My name is Osei. I'm a Canadian track and field athlete. I'm 29 years old and I was born in Toronto, Canada. I started track in grade 12. Obviously I started running here and there as a kid, but I officially started track in like grade 11, 12. In grade 11, I'd always go to Centennial Park and watch these track meets. But I didn't really like officially join the track team until like that time. And then, you know, I saw it as a way to get out of school kind of thing. So I just joined the track team and started running the 100 and 200. My coach needed an extra leg for the 400-meter relay. And then he called upon me. And obviously I was opposed to it, but I just said, hey, why not? And then I ran a pretty fast split. Like a split is like a 400-meter split. So when he saw my time, he pulled me aside and said, hey, Phil, I know you don't take this serious or whatever, but you know, I see really big things in you running the 400 meters. At first we clashed and you know, it was like, no, I don't do this. And he's like, yeah, you could do this or whatever. But after that, he really sounded sincere and was like, you know, I'll take you serious. I'll pick you up from your house. I know your area is not the greatest area, but I know I'll pick you up from your house every day. We'll go train Centennial Park and, you know, get this work done. So from then, I built a really great relationship with him. And yeah, it just took off from there. So I joined Mississauga Track Club at the age of like 19. And I started running, you know, provincial meets here and there or whatever. And coaches saw me as like, you know, this guy has potential. But at the time, my parents wanted me to go to school to George Brown. They wanted me to take mechanical engineering. So I took that for 2 years, but you know, my heart wasn't really into it. So even when I was in school, I joined the track club and I started running provincially. And then once I started doing that, the head coaches saw me and took me serious and were like, yo, this guy has like great potential. Like, he can go far. So then I started training with the head coaches, even while I was going to George Brown. And then I made my first national team. And that was like the first time I ever took a plane to Mexico. So when my parents finally saw that, that's when they finally like, okay, yeah, this is something big, bigger than us. So I appreciate my parents for that, because they finally, you know, let go and stop trying to guide me into, you know, being an engineer. Like, you already know Ghanaian doctors, or you know, being a doctor or engineer or all that kind of stuff. But you know, so they finally accepted me as an athlete, and ever since then I've traveled around the world. I've been on every continent you can name right now. My first big international competition was in Mexico. In 2011, actually. I was probably like, what, 18, 19. They invited me to run the 4x4. So yeah, they invited me to run the 4x4. After that, it was Mexico again, I believe, in Guadalajara, which is the competition is called NACAC Championships. And I placed second. And that was like my first individual track and field medal. You know, for it was U23 NACAC Championships. And then I've also ran here in Toronto, the 2015 Pan Am Games. I'm not sure if anyone remembers that, but that was in North York. And that's the first time my parents actually got to see me run at an international meet. I didn't really place too good over there because of the nerves of, you know, having your family watching or whatever. But then the following week, I went to Costa Rica and I ran my personal best 45:23, which is the number 3 time in Canadian history. And that's when I was able to achieve my Olympic standard. Man, COVID-19 has impacted me positive and in a negative way. Negative as in there's no competitions, there's no, like, it's really up in the air. We don't really know, how the season is gonna portray itself. We might be running in August, we might not. But right now, all I can do is just train. But in a positive way, it helped me step back from, the track world and just really, enjoy just being and just life. And it also helped me, I was able to change my diet. I'm now a pescatarian, and I feel like it really benefited me, right? So if there was no COVID-19, I probably wouldn't have taken the risk to even, try a new diet, because I would have just stuck to what I known at the time, and that's what it is. But now that I've changed my diet, my times in practice are even improved. So it kind of feels like this has given me an extra year to, prepare for the Olympics. So now that I'm coming in with a new strategy kind of sense, like, I probably wouldn't have changed the diet or anything. I just would have went along with how things were going. But now that I'm able to step back and, change my diet, change my game plan, really strategize how I'm gonna place, because in my heart I believe that I'm gonna be in the Olympic finals. I just watched the Michael Jordan documentary, which was really cool. I didn't know that his mindset was so, he was like an animal, like, and I kind of try to take that approach onto the track. Like, I already go in with a champion mindset on the track. Like, I already believe that I'm gonna win. And if you don't believe that you're gonna win, then you're not gonna perform well. I don't go on the track and, hope for the best. I've trained, I worked hard. Just last year, I made my first world championship team, and I was able to make the semifinals. And that was kind of like a long-term goal for a while, but everything has started to happen soon. So my advice to Ghanaian children that are, trying to get into sports or athletics or anything like that is to continue to follow your dream and continue to follow your heart. Don't follow your friends, or don't, listen to other people and tell you that, oh, that's a bad idea, or this is a bad or good idea, or whatever. Just do what you want to do, because at the end of the day, when you do what you want to do, it's gonna prevail in reality. It's gonna prosper. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing someone else's dream, or you're trying to, fulfill someone else's dream, it's not gonna happen. But when you're doing your own dream, you have the passion, you have your, the energy, and you're gonna be able to, take that energy and make it into, fulfill your dreams. So that is my advice. Honestly, the reason why I'm running for Canada is because they gave me the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? This is where I grew up. I'm Ghanaian by blood, but I'm Canadian at heart. You know what I'm saying? So this is what gave me the opportunity to run on what they wanted to do. Like I said, in Ghana, everyone wants to play soccer, or because someone else is playing soccer, or because this person is playing soccer. But in their heart, they want to run track, or they want to play basketball, or they want to do volleyball, or they want to do whatever. But because of what everyone else is doing, they follow a trend, which is why I say, follow your heart and do what you want to do, because when you do that, then you'll be able to excel and do greater things. Soccer is big in Ghana because we see the players. You know what I'm saying? Soccer in general is a bigger sport than track and field. You know what I'm saying? People only think about track and field, to be real, is when the Olympics come, which is every 4 years. They don't really look year round of who's the best track athlete or whatever, right? But that's why one person, I don't really, look up to people or like that, but one person I can say that changed the game for the sport was Usain Bolt. And the way he did it was, he was so charismatic, and he was such a great energy to watch on TV that everyone wanted to be like Bolt. So once he started running and being himself, everyone wanted to join track. So that's kind of what we need in the sport, like, great personalities. And I'm just hoping to change that for for, you know, the Ghanaian community or the African community in general. When I make it, when I'm up there and I'm able to be on the spotlight and show that, you know, this is a great career to have, you know. This is fun. This is also fun, not just soccer, not just, you know, basketball or the mainstream kind of sports, but this is fun as well. My biggest moment in my career was actually just last year, which was in October. I made my first World Championship team, and I was able to make it into the semifinals. And it's been the first time in a decade since a Canadian athlete has actually made the semifinals. So I was actually, you know, really proud about that. And because of that, that led into bigger things. So once I was able to do that, you know, New Balance reached out to me and said, hey, we're looking to sponsor Canadian athletes. And, you know, we haven't really sponsored a 400-meter athlete before, so what do you say? So I talked to me and my coach, we talked about it, and I'm like, hey, why not? We signed the papers together, took pictures or whatever, and now I'm an official, you know, New Balance track and field athlete, which is probably the biggest accomplishment that I have done so far in my track career. My advice to Ghanaian athletes in Ghana is to, you know, look into these American schools. You never know. I mean, some of them, not even D1, maybe D2, D, you know, small schools. Just look into them and reach out to them, because you never know. Some of them have money and are able to, you know, provide scholarships. So it's just getting your foot in the door. Hi, my name is Osei. I'm a Canadian track and field athlete, and you're watching Ghanalink's TV.